Large cappuccino. Orders up.
Welcome back to Mental Breakdown, the tennis edition. Perfect. Just to give you guys a little background on what Mental Breakdown is. So basically, kind of like what we did for the Super Bowl, we're doing Wimbledon today. We're breaking down a sporting event, but by looking at it through the lens of like the mental side. I know you guys obviously got a little glimpse of what we did in our first episode of Mental Breakdown this past year's Super Bowl. But today we have tennis, and Michael is our expert tennis personnel here on staff. So he's going to have a lot to say, a lot of great points, physical points, mental points, all of the above. And I will be hopefully helping assist that. So
break points, set points, championship points.
All of it.
And just to give you guys a little bit of a background on us on the camera right now, I'm Michael O'Brien. I'm one of the co-hosts of Mental Breakdown. Like Braden said, we're mental performance coaches. So our role is to, help athletes and work with athletes on the mental side of sport. And we're both huge fans of all sports in general. We'll watch whatever's on the TV. It doesn't matter. And breaking down, I think, and seeing stuff that we've learned about in our not only sporting experience, but our academic career, and trying to break down the mental side of this, I think is something that's unique and not out there. So hopefully you'll get something out of it today. And for those tennis players out there, whether you're with me now or a fan of tennis, hopefully you'll learn something new about the game or some couple of cool points to take away. And
love it.
Braden, kind of reintroduce yourself as well.
My name is Braden Bova, mental performance coach at Sharpen Skills Training. And just as Michael said, we're here to give you guys a really cool perspective through the game, obviously the mental game. I mean, you can watch a sporting event on TV and everyone sees the same thing of points wise or statistical wise, right? What's in the box score at the end of the day, but how do you break it down mentally? What is going on in between? Looks like tennis also has white lines here as well. What is going on in between the white lines that's going to make a difference between both players here? So again, a really cool perspective. Something, as Michael said, really unique and cool, and hopefully bring some cool perspective for you guys today. So
let's get into it.
Let's go.
As we kicked off the Super Bowl with a kickoff with tennis, it's a chair umpire saying "Ready, play," and Wimbledon starts away. Here we go. And just the nerves, the pressure, the rematch of last year's Wimbledon final went 5 sets. People paid minimum £10,000 to see this live, and
it's a lot of weight.
Pressure's on, and who is going to strike first? And it looks like first point goes to Alcaraz, right? And this is where, as a tennis player, it's really tough mentally on yourself to find yourself down when you start serving, especially for a championship, right? You're playing, you don't ever want to start down. You don't want to start in this kind of chasing mindset. You want to be creating for yourself. So that's where we'll go in this marathon of a first game, and trying to zoom ahead here a little bit, right? Game duration, as you can see there on the screen, 12 minutes, 12 and a half minutes already. Unheard of, right? This is a long game. These guys are going at it. They are playing and trying their hardest for every single point. 20th point of the game. Break point, Alcaraz. This is a pressure point in tennis, as we call it. And, as a server, as Djokovic right now, your job is to hold serve. It's always to hold serve. And will Alcaraz break? And it looks like he will, just wide of the mark. And he starts with the lead in this Wimbledon final.
He does. Takes the first game. I will say, as a person that has watched his first tennis game, this being his first test match, rather, that first game lasting 12 minutes, I thought this thing was going to go a long time, but actually it was pretty darn good. It was pretty darn good. It didn't actually go as long as I thought, but that first game being 12 minutes really set the tone for how in depth of a match this is between these two, for sure.
This went 4 hours and 42 minutes last year in a 5-set thriller, and that's why people paid, right, to see it again. And all the stars are out. Even the Princess of Wales, Kate Middleton, making her second public appearance, is there, as one of the patrons of the All England Lawn Tennis Club. So here we go. Alcaraz now with a commanding 4-1 lead. You build this, it's like building a huge lead. When we just broke down the Super Bowl, this would be similar to you being up 14-0. You have a pretty good, double break lead for Alcaraz. In football, that'd be, a 2-possession lead. So really good high-level tennis from Alcaraz. Djokovic just trying to find his level here. And the really fascinating thing with this, what he's talking about on the screen, what the commentators start breaking down is how much, right? These stats are crazy to see on the screen. The fact that Alcaraz has served a third less serves already, and Alcaraz is clearly in the head of Novak Djokovic. That's what the commentators are saying kind of right now. And Braden, you picked this clip out, so why did you kind of pick this moment?
Well, I just felt like too, like he just started out really strong, and it wasn't. Yes, obviously his physical skill of what he's doing on the court he was obviously the ball was just moving around from side to side really quick. He's doing a really good job getting Djokovic moving around. But yeah, I just thought like he was also, in terms of like a mental game, just like kind of in his head, like he knew whether it's him serving or just when they're kind of going back and forth here, just winning pretty much every game. He started out really hot, and it wasn't just one game. Each game he started out, I think it was how did he get to 4-1? Did he win? Was it 4 straight? I don't know what it was, but he was just like basically collecting wins here, pretty much every point as well. He just started out really hot, and I thought he just like was really just taking the. I know the match, the whole set is like it's a long time, but still like starting really good early is always a good sign for a good day. So.
Yeah, and now, right, he is in complete control, as you see their boss on the screen, maybe the not most flattering angle, but his coach, Juan Carlos Ferrero, right? The cool thing with tennis that they recently changed at the major level, at least, was the fact that you weren't allowed to have coaching before, something unique kind of the sport. It's on these players to figure it out. It still is. They still have to try to piece together things, but now they're allowed to have coaching at the Grand Slam level. And just that boost, right? That support system you need, because as a tennis player, I can tell you it is mentally taxing and frustrating, right? You're battling yourself. You have to battle the person on the other side of the net. And when they bring this top level and you feel like you're not at that level, and, for Novak, can he find that top level? He's 5 weeks removed from meniscus surgery after he sustained an injury during the French Open. Alcaraz coming off of winning the French Open, the second major of the year, and coming a month later over to Wimbledon in England. And will he win his second straight title? Can he defend his crown? And it's looking pretty good. Up 5-2, double set point here. And is he going to find a way to win this? Djokovic is pulling out all the stops there, right? Tries to hold off once, but Alcaraz is as relentless as they come. As you can kind of tell if you watch this match, you kind of know what's coming up here. It is Alcaraz serving, and it is serving well and into the net. First set, Carlos Alcaraz, 1 set down, 2 to go. Tennis is played best 3 out of 5 sets, and I won't explain the scoring because it can be a little complex, but you got to win 3 sets. Like Alcaraz just won 1 right there. 2 more to go. And we go back to the studio with the commentators, and they kind of are shocked. Everyone's shocked because they're expecting a rematch and they're expecting it to look good. But as they point out here a little bit, last year's final was also a slow start for Carlos Alcaraz. He came back and won. So will that happen again here? And the first thing I want to highlight is right away in the start of the second set, we have Carlos Alcaraz, double break point here, serving for Djokovic serving, and once again finds the passing shot, finding the angle, getting him low, and breaks, right? Djokovic hasn't felt comfortable in this match yet, can't establish a rhythm, and that's a really tough thing. And as you see them go to the bench here on the changeover, it's really important. It doesn't show it, but they have routines. They go to the towel, they drink water, they get energy, they breathe, they try to focus on, their coaching box and what advice do they need in this moment. And that's all something tennis players need. You don't want to go to the changeover thinking, all right, what's every mistake I just made in that game and how could I think like that? It's, reset, recover, and figure out what is going to happen next. What game plan do you need to start getting into this match a little bit more, finding that level that you need to play at. And
look at Alcaraz already taking these games early again, taking control, getting up early, and just putting games away. I think that's one of the main points I'm taking away from his success is just like building upon what he's already done successfully. He doesn't, wins one game and like, okay, great. He just one game after another, just locked in, mentally focused and ready, just taking these games. I mean, he was very, very confident too. You can just tell the confidence on that side of the court is really big.
This next moment we kind of picked up, score currently, right? Alcaraz has won the first set 6-2. It's 4-2. It's 15-30. And or love 30, but this kind of point here, right? Djokovic is just kind of trying to find anything. And this is something, once again, you pointed out, just that next ball mentality, one more ball back mentality that Alcaraz has. So explain kind of, I think it's going to show the recap here in a second, the highlight, but why'd you once again pick this clip that you wanted to showcase?
Yeah, let's see if it shows it. Let's see. Right. Well, I mean, one of the first things that I noticed when I've seen this clip, like, just the aggressiveness too. But like every shot that he had, it wasn't like could he possibly make it. He was just determined. Every time that ball came on his side of the court, he was going to try to make a play on it. He was going to try to obviously put it in Djokovic's on his side of the court for sure. But like, I just thought, one, the aggressiveness, but two, like every single ball that came to his side of the court, he was going to get after it. And, you know, sometimes he make mistakes for sure and maybe hit out of bounds, but for the most part, like, he was going to make a play on every single one, and he was determined to do that. And I was just like, I was blown away. That was just great effort, really great effort.
Yeah, and you can see the athleticism, the age difference too. Djokovic, 37 years of age. Carlos Alcaraz, 21, 16 years age difference. Is the largest in the history of the sport in the final. Right. And, you know, you can kind of really see that on display here, right? He hits the backhand down the line. Djokovic hits an amazing shot, right? And Alcaraz sliding, sprinting, and just gets the ball back. And
relentless.
Once again, the mental kind of thing there a little bit as a tennis player, for those that don't know, is we kind of can see the net here. The center part of that net is 36 inches. It's 3 feet high. I don't know what that is in meters, but you know, it's shallower. And then once you see that extended piece out, it's 3 inches higher. So not only, right, mentally you have to know that as a tennis player, when you go for that shot like Alcaraz did, you have to actually lift a little bit more as well. And that's just something just incredible that he can do on the sprint, on the full run like that. And, you know, the next clip that we have here, fast forwarding a little bit into this final, is just, once again, 6-2, 5-2, 30 all, the pressure point of tennis, 30 all. It's like a mini deuce, and you have to win these 2 points in a row. And now Alcaraz, serving for the second set, has another set point and kind of putting a stranglehold on this final. And when you go down 2-0, you know, the stats go down, you're not expected to win and you're not in your favor, but if anyone can do it, right, it surely has to be Novak Djokovic. But Alcaraz serving, staying composed, going through his serve routine. Every player has one. How many times they bounce the ball, the breaths that you take beforehand. Once again, the fist pump, the positive kind of self-talk you're giving to yourself there of, you know, I have complete control of this, and this barrage of this first set. And this is something that you'll see a lot of players do a lot of times. They'll start to change. They'll kind of go off of the court. They're allowed to have a little, you know, bathroom break time and stuff like that. And they'll change, and just to kind of slow momentum, right? That's what you have to do right now, is try to slow momentum. But
kind of one thing you pointed out there, like the self-talk, right? They're like on a fist bump. Why is it important for any tennis athlete to have like positive self-talk, or just to have self-talk in general on the court?
Yeah, the toughest points, I always say to all my tennis athletes out there, and most athletes in general, are the toughest points, and the toughest, well, not points, but the toughest times for you when you're out there competing are the times when you're not actually competing, right? And for tennis, that's between points, and then on that changeover that you have, that 1.5 minute time between every odd number of games. And you have to have something established. So I always try to establish some sort of in-between point routine with players, whether the first thing is this, you know, immediate physical response, as you saw Alcaraz there, hits a good first serve, gets the point, gets another set, right? But even if he just won at love all and like 1 point, right? That immediate physical response, I did something well, acknowledge it, right? Fist pump, I got this, that was a really great shot, good serve, good placement, whatever you need to say to yourself is. And then if you do make the mistake, in Djokovic's case, right, on the other side of the net, what you don't want to do is react negatively, right? Hardwired negative. Don't just have that initial, you know, blurt out and be like, gosh, I can't believe I missed that, or I stink. How could I hit it there? And what you need to do is just make the correction, right? And whether you kind of see a lot of tennis players, they'll go like this, or just redo the shot with their hands, this kind of shadow tennis. One of the best ways, right? This instructional kind of self-talk. So that's the first thing, some immediate response physically. And then you go into this relaxation response, whether it's fixing the strings on your racket or taking that deep breath, right? Something to kind of ground yourself and relax and calm yourself, lower that heart rate. Then a preparation response, right? Developing a game plan for that point. Where do I want to place this serve? If I'm the returner, where do I want to place this return? That way you're thinking through the point, instead of, you know, gosh, I've lost the same point. I missed this shot the same time and third time in a row. And then the fourth part of that in-between point routine is just go for it, right? An automatic response is what it's called. Just do it. The Nike motto. Just go for it. Do it.
Love it.
And so far, Alcaraz is doing everything, and he is dominating. For the first time in his major final career, he is up 2-0, I believe. I don't think he's ever done that. 21 years old
too.
21 years of age. You can kind of, he has it today, and Novak Djokovic has yet to find it. But that's why tennis is a difficult sport to do well, because you can finally get ahead, and that's what we're going to see here on this next clip. 40-15, start of the third set, have to reset here, have to make this set more competitive, right? That's what Djokovic is thinking here, and it starts with the serve. Everything starts with the serve in tennis, and we finally see he nails the first serve, gets the second, the kind of serve +1 is what it's called in tennis, and for the first time in this Wimbledon final, he is ahead, he is leading, and that just immense relief probably he felt walking off the court after finally holding a service game and holding pretty comfortably as well, not facing really any break points or challenges from Alcaraz there. So once again, we finally have Alcaraz on the Djokovic serve with a break point, and just Alcaraz picks correctly. Look at that shot though, right? This is a clip that I specifically picked out because even though Djokovic won that point, just the taxing, the just relentless barrage of shots. Djokovic has this easy put away ball. Alcaraz hits it from behind, and he still gets the smash overhead, and Alcaraz doesn't break. But most players don't get that back, right? That is absolutely insane, and that's just the relentless pressure you're facing. And throughout this match, it's showing and talking about how Djokovic has to hit those exact spots that you see right there, and Alcaraz just keeps coming up with shot after shot like that, and it just wears on you as a player out there. Your opponent is just on fire, and you're trying to find ways to disrupt or break their rhythm, and Djokovic just starting to try to paint the lines here, and it still is just not as effective as he wants it to be. And he did everything perfect there. He followed his ball in. Alcaraz just hits this amazing kind of passing shot cross court, and it's just beautiful tennis to kind of watch and see. And
120 plus miles per hour, that close is that's wild.
Just hitting the lines here, right? And just Djokovic just trying to defend, right? This is intense defense. He doesn't have to hit this many extra balls usually, and just that relentless pressure you feel. It's a really tough thing to kind of go out there and try to defend against. So, but Djokovic does hold in this game. We are getting a more competitive third set, right? As all I'm sure everyone in the audience is thankful for. And stars out there, right? You have Tom Cruise, right, watching Top on. Gun. Zendaya's there, right? A lot of stars out. Tom Hiddleston, they're all there.
Maverick is out there.
So next kind of clip as we come up here, hopefully, is going to be this exact moment. So let me rewind here. Once again, a tough day for Djokovic at the office, out there competing, right? Giving it his all. And another break point at 4-all. So if Alcaraz breaks here, he can go and serve for the Wimbledon final, and he gets the pass. The crowd's excited. They're hyped. They're into it.
They know it.
They know what's coming, and it's on his serve. This is what tennis is. You get your serve. You get to close out the match on your serve. You get to win it on your serve. And, you see Djokovic here. This is something else I want to point out, right? He's not following his normal changeover routine right here. That's also why I picked this clip. He is about to get up and out of his chair. He's chugging some water. He's like, all right, let's get into it. And who knows what he's thinking here? Is he done? Is he over it? Is he trying to disrupt rhythm? But there's still at least 45 seconds left on this changeover clock. And he's walking over. He's like, all right, let's go. And kudos to Carlos Alcaraz. Stick with your routines, right? Don't let that other person rush you. This is the gamesmanship piece of sports. There's a lot of things that are done in other sports, but this is the gamesmanship piece of tennis. This guy is trying to rush you, and take your time, take some breaths, get some water, get a snack, and go serve for the Wimbledon final. Go win this thing.
I like that. That's a great point. Yeah, take it. You're on your own time, right? I mean, obviously you have a clock there to count you down, but still, don't be. Obviously, he's not really intimidated. 21 years old.
And this, this game, fascinating in and of itself, right? Yes. Alcaraz is serving incredible, goes up 40-love, double faults, Djokovic hits this incredible return save and return to win another point. So championship point number 3, right? You're still serving for it. You still have a chance to win the title. The trophy's out there. It's on the court. It's ready to go for you, Carlos. And let's see what happens here, because I think this is just incredible point right here. Let's listen.
To win it, right?
To win.
To win.
Beautiful serve out wide, stretch return from Djokovic. Carlos moving forward, has the swinging volley, and if we can get the sound in on this, a fan screams as he's about to hit this ball mid-air, and that is what takes kind of the air out of the sails here, right? Up, swinging volley, you hear a fan scream right there, boom, just misses it, small margins, right? And that's something, as, you know, controlling the controllables, if you want to touch on that there, because that's something, right, completely out of his control that happens there. So
yeah, no,
why is that important?
No, absolutely. I feel like, you know what, like, obviously tennis is one of those sports where it is quiet, or supposed to be quiet during the actual match, but, you know, a fan screams out, you know, it could be anything, any distraction that could possibly happen. You know, obviously you're not the one, whether you're Djokovic or Alcaraz here, like, you can't control that. So just realizing that, like, yes, there's going to be things that happen during the match that you might obviously not expect to happen, but you just kind of roll with the punches and deal with what you got. Again, the chair umpire also took, I believe he told the crowd to be quiet too, so he also plays a part in this as well, controlling the game, which I didn't realize how big the chair umpire role he plays in these matches, but was able to quiet down the crowd.
It's like officials and umpires and referees in other sports. They have control of the pace and flow and the crowd and the players of the game, and in this case the match. And James Kianfapong up there in the chair, tough name to say, but he's really good at this. He's done so many finals. I always like the finals that he's kind of, you know, officiating, because it is just very classy, very straightforward. And you know, luckily the English crowd there is, you know, very much, you know, very proper and fine, as Wimbledon is, right? We have the all whites, the you know, pomp and circumstance of Wimbledon, right? There's no sponsors on the courts. There's nothing. It's just you, the grass, and the opponent in the net that you have to kind of hit it over.
What an event.
And now, this is something that Alcaraz could have made history for. This is Djokovic's 37th major final. He's never not broken in a major final, right? He's always broken the opponent's serve, and he finally gets his chance here a little bit. So let's watch and let's see, can Djokovic finally break? Can he get the crowd into it? Can he get them to his side? That's a big thing in tennis. Can you get the crowd going for you and give you that necessary energy you need? And just an incredible point, and he finally gets the break. From triple championship point down, reminiscent for those tennis fans out there of the 2019 Wimbledon final between Fed and Djokovic, where he saved double championship point, right? So he's very good in this. He's familiar with the situation, and something I always like to have athletes do, right? That's a highlight reel moment right here for Novak. If you're Novak Djokovic, he's done it a lot of times in his career, obviously, but when you save these points, when you save these championship points, right? You can rely on that in your future matches. Go back and think, I've been in this situation before. How did I handle it or approach it? And try to remember those things. It's a really key thing to do mentally. And in this game, Djokovic is going to hold. He's going to go up 6-5 as we finally, you know, fast forward here. And the next one, it's a very small moment in this match in terms of the grand scheme of things, but you know, this third set does eventually go into a tiebreak, but the next time that Alcaraz serves is the point that I want to point out here. In tennis, you want to put pressure, right? This is a big thing for Djokovic here, to put pressure on and try to win this set 7-5, and he hits it out. Alcaraz holds at love, very easy, and he just messed up the service game prior, right? A few mistakes, not landing as many first serves. Once again, that positive body language, he had it throughout the match, and he forces a tiebreak. And for those that don't know, once it gets to 6-all like this, 1-7, win by 2, you see the stat there. He's won 24 of his last 27 tiebreaks in majors. Although one of those 3 times was in last year's final, he lost it to Carlos Alcaraz. So what will happen here? What's going to kind of take place? And, you know, a small moment, like I said, Alcaraz forcing a tiebreak there, but really huge that he did it that quickly and, you know, that efficiently, because that can give him that belief that he needs going into this tiebreak as they play 1-7 points, like I said, win by 2. And It looks like Djokovic is going to have early misses there, and he takes that early lead. And once again, he's no longer chasing, right? He's built a lead, which, leads are important in sports. I think you would agree with that, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you got to gain lead especially, but like you got to gain confidence in something. I feel like this is one of the moments, especially in the last game too, kind of leading up to this, that Djokovic was able to gain some confidence here, at least in the match, because it's been a tough day for him up to this point. It's been very tough for him up to this point. So obviously having some success here, not just thrown in the towel. I mean, I feel like definitely good set to come back and tie the thing up. So good.
If anyone can try to come back and win this match, right, it surely must be, once again, 24-time major champion out of Serbia, Novak Djokovic. But here we have 21-year-old Carlos Alcaraz of Spain, up 6-4, championship point number 4, and on his serve, once again, can he convert, right? This is what you dream of. This is what a lot of people, right, kids dream of, is serving for the Wimbledon final. Like, I've pictured this so many times in my head. Djokovic talks about it a ton. He visualized this as a kid growing up. He would make it with random materials in his room, the trophy that he won it. And this is a big point, right? Pressure is a privilege. Can he overcome the pressure of making the mistakes last time? Everyone thinks right there that it was an ace, that it's over. You could hear the screams in the crowd, but
getting exciting. Yep.
Right. Once again, is this going to get to him? Because it did in the last game, and he's going to overcome it here, right? Into the net, return.
And there it is.
And there it is.
And there it is. Your winner.
Your winner, and defends the Wimbledon title 6-2, 6-2, 7-6, 7-4 in the breaker. 4th major overall, 4-0 in major finals, and completes what's known as the Channel Double, winning the French Open the month before and then crossing that channel to win in England and win Wimbledon. Wow. 2 different surfaces, 2 months, pretty incredible stuff. And he will go in as the favorite in the Olympics for tennis, and probably going forward. But,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, you win it back-to-back years. I mean, especially to knock a guy out like Djokovic too. I mean, such a class act for the whole tennis community, for the tennis fans in general. So, and I really do like this year too. Like, again, I'd say, obviously tennis is a different sport from other sports, separates itself a little bit, but the sportsmanship, it was something that stood out to me a lot too, just with each other, right? There wasn't like they just played a hard fought match here for couple hours, more than a couple hours, and just to see like that sportsmanship in the end is awesome. I think it's great for any sport, especially. It was really cool to see that here.
Like you said, it's quiet between points, the class, the sportsmanship. You see his entire camp, his coach, his family, his physios, even mental performance coaches in there, right? He makes the walk up to his player's box. Really cool, once again, sportsmanship moment. On the way, as he tries to find it, he goes by Djokovic's boxing camp and congratulates her, just, shakes hands with them, which is very big. You don't see that a lot of times and across a lot of sports. And, shaking hands with the commentators, Patrick and John McEnroe, the McEnroe brothers, and Chris Fowler in there, and just a champion once again. And can he continue this longevity, this path? The trophy presentation and ceremony is always really cool with Wimbledon, but this tournament is one of the biggest in the world. It's one of the top 10 most watched sporting events, and as you can kind of see why, right? You have these 2 big names going at each other. All the stars were out. Royalty was there, and he does it. He defends it in the presence of 14,000 fans, I want to say, and more watching worldwide. And just absolutely incredible poise. It was a barrage from the start in the first 2 sets, and what everyone dreams of when you try to win a final and win a title, a mental battle and kind of maybe struggle in the end, but you come through in the big moment. He does it. He finally gets another Wimbledon trophy.
A mental battle indeed.
And that's kind of it from us here on our second episode of Mental Breakdown. You can catch us in August. We'll be breaking down a few things in the Olympics, so stay tuned. And
thank you for watching, especially.
If you like what you're listening to, be sure to follow the Athlete Cafe on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You can find us wherever you enjoy listening to your podcasts.